Welcome to Cooking Vibes with your hosts Lea and Michele, sponsored this week by Giordano Garden and Nursery. Here are your hosts. Take it away, ladies.
Hi.
Hi. So nice to be back in the studio. I'm Michele Sigelnik and...
Hi, I'm Leah Bernstein, and thanks for watching.
Yeah, together we are Just What the Kosher Ordered, and welcome to Cooking Vibes on West Hempstead Echo, our podcast where we talk all things food. But today we have a special guests in the studio with us. We got bagels because we are going to rate bagels from our local bagel stores. There are 5 different bagels here. We each gave them a little smear of cream cheese, and we're going to taste them and see which ones we like best, and we'll let you know how they come out.
We'll talk about their
appearance,
look,
their chewiness or lack of chewiness, and their overall taste.
freshness, appearance. There we go.
Yeah, this is bagel number 1, and before we even go in to taste it, I'm going to say it's very pale in color.
I personally like lightly baked things. Oh, why, thank
So,
you.
Michele and Leah, while you're tasting the first bagel, we should let the audience know that the bagels that they're going to be sampling are all local. 3 of them are from West Hempstead. 2 of them are in surrounding areas. They come from the following bagel stores: from Bagel Town and Bagel Craft in West Hempstead, from A&S Bagels in Franklin Square, Bagel Boss on Peninsula Boulevard, and Reestorers, which is also our local bakery on Hempstead Avenue. So, women, back to you.
Okay, so
Wow.
surprising for a very light colored bagel. It tastes good. More bread-like than bagel-like to me.
I actually like it a lot.
You do.
I'm probably going to like every single one. That's a problem I seem to have. But
It does have a nice texture. It has a little chew to it.
it's fresh. It's soft.
Very fresh and soft. I know they were all bought fresh, so they should be fresh. Let's hope so. But it does have a nice flavor to it. I'm surprised because the color kind of turned me off a little bit.
And we should point out, everyone, that the ladies do not know which of these bagels is from
Oh, no,
which
this is a
of our
blind
5
bagel
options.
taste. Like, we're going to cover our eyes, yeah.
Right. So, like you can see on my paper, I lined it up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This way, I'll write my own little notes.
Okay, so let's go to bagel number 2. Also, I mean, it looks nice and chewy. Here you go.
Oh, wait. Thank you. I'm going to line up my pieces here.
Okay, there you go. I'm put mine back on the plate. Let's give a bite to this one. This one's a little bit denser in texture than the first one.
It's heavier, too.
Takes a while to chew through it, but it has more of that bagel.
Okay.
Texture.
So, this one has the outside is a little bit harder than the inside. Whereas on the first one, it's all basically the same feel.
Yeah, I got that too. And like I said before, I think that it was more bread-like in texture than it was actually.
This is a little
This
bit
is
more
more-
bagel-like.
Yeah.
And it does have, like, I wouldn't call it a crust, but, an edge.
Let's go with bagel number 3.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. I'm looking at it. It does have a lot more pockets, aerated pockets.
Mhm. The top has a very nice color. I'm finding that a drop chewy.
A little too chewy. But not,
But it has
not in a
good-
bad way.
It has a good flavor. I'm not against the bagel. I don't think I'll be against any of the bagels here. But it's definitely a little chewy.
And it's a little denser. It's a little heavier. Let's go with bagel number 4. This one has a completely different look. If you see how the others are like smooth on the top, this one is like a little bumpy. Do you see that?
So, okay, I might be dating myself.
Oh,
here.
yeah, go ahead.
I do
What
all
else
the
is
time.
new?
So, are bagels baked today? Are they boiled today?
So I
Remember when we used to go to the bagel store on Saturday nights and the windows were steamy?
So primarily bagels are still boiled before
Oh.
they go into the oven. So
Okay.
a traditional bagel store will put them, first through the water process. It could be that, a place that's more of a, bakery or non-bagel store may not be doing
Right,
that
they
step.
might be baking it more like bread. Okay.
So, and that's why New York bagels typically are like very good bagels. Everybody talks about New York bagels, how New York bagels are the best bagels because of our water. We have like excellent water in New York.
Well,
So when you go outside of
I
New
think
York,
they're
you
talking
cannot
about-
find a good bagel.
New York City water is definitely better than Nassau County.
Okay, but we still have good water.
It's okay.
Yeah, come on. Definitely.
I'm
you
going
hear
back
people-
to this one.
Yeah,
This
go
one has
comment.
a really nice shine.
Nobody
Nobody else has shine.
The texture is very different on that one than the other ones. It is. It's a different. To me, it's
I'm
different.
liking that.
This one is like super high.
It's
Very, very fat and thick.
risen.
Risen. Go for it. Let's
Okay.
see. Let's see. Oh, I like this one.
Funny.
You don't.
It's more like a roll.
Oh no, I don't think so at all. Okay.
That's your take.
Okay. So I'm going to go right away and say that this was my least favorite. It was very like bread-like, and the color. I like my bagels to be a little bit more well done. I think that this one was just a little bit too pale.
I don't
And that's
agree. It's not my favorite, but it's not my least favorite. The color is okay in my eyes, and the texture was okay. It's soft. I like a softer bagel that's easier on your chewing and your teeth and all that.
Yeah, but a bagel should have some bite to it. Like if you like a softer bagel, then you can have a roll. You can get a
Totally different.
experience
there.
it's a different experience. But like when you think of bagel, you think of like bagel with lox and cream cheese, like a good schmear on it, and it's got to have that like chewy,
Okay,
bitey
that's
texture.
Your opinion. And
That's what a bagel is.
okay, maybe where I grew up, bagels were different.
And where
that's-
exactly did you grow
Well,
up?
we're
that
not
bagel-
going there
that
because I
bagels
don't
is-
think you want to go there. So,
Yeah.
back in Brooklyn,
back in the old
in
country.
the hood, we had bagels that were boiled. Like I said, the windows were all steamed up, and it was an experience just to go in there. They would
To get the fresh bagels.
to get them. So okay,
So just so you should all know, as my wife, came from Brooklyn, and I remember back in the early days, and I don't remember the name of the bagel store, but it was in Sheepshead Bay, around Avenue X or so, and the bagels were like the size of like a loaf of bread, and they were just unbelievable. I wish I remember what the name was, but I'm not sure that the bagels in Brooklyn are even as good as they used to be, back in the day.
right.
I think it was H&H Bagels that we used to go get fresh bagels from in the city all the time, especially like after Pesach, when everybody, after 8 days of nonstop eating, the first thing you got to do is go get more bread or more food to
Pizza
eat.
usually, yeah.
For us, it was bagels. And I know that some of our local bagel stores are open right after Passover to get fresh bagels because, what would we do with a week of non-eating bagels? We have to go eat them right away.
Right away.
So I'm going to go with number one, back to our ratings. I'm going to go with number one being my least favorite. What's your least favorite out of all of them?
This one, number 5.
Number 5.
Doesn't do it for me flavor wise or appearance wise. Sorry.
You don't have to be sorry.
I'm sorry.
And now, which one is your favorite one?
Well, number 4, actually. Surprisingly, probably to everybody. I like the shine. I like the different colors on the top. And I found the texture and flavor to be delicious.
So I think number 4 for me was a little too dense. I'm feeling number 2 as my favorite.
Okay.
This one.
Whereas we're putting everything on top of number 3, we've neglected to talk about it at all. So number 3, the plain bagels kind of reminding me, looks-wise, like a holy bagel. What do you think? Am I being
I
critical?
know you're not. I see where you're going there. To me, number 3 was just a a little too chewy and it was a little too dense.
I agree with that. That's why I felt it was too hard on the. It's an effort. I don't want it to be an effort.
So let me throw a question your way. Understanding we've chosen the plain bagels for simplicity here, do you think if one of these was flavored, if it was an onion bagel and everything bagel, do you think it would change your views of how these are?
I don't think so. Not necessarily. I think that choosing plain bagels for this was the right way to go because you didn't want any other of those other flavors to influence the actual integrity of the bagel. It could be. I mean,
Oh, well, certainly some of the additives have flavors, whether it's a seed or something.
yeah. So
onion, garlic,
they all
everything.
add additional flavor, and then if you go for something like the cinnamon raisin bagel, it's actually cooked into the bagel instead of just sprinkled on top.
Those
so
are
that
yum.
definitely affects
The total
taste of the
overall,
bagel
for
overall.
sure.
So we're basically down to bagel number 2 and bagel number 4.
right.
If both of you had to really fight it out and say one of them was
Okay.
really the best,
So I'm
or
gonna-
Oh, Michelle and
go
I
back
are really good at fighting.
I'm going to go back for
back
a
for a
second
tasting.
taste of. Okay, so this is number 2. I'm going to go back.
I should go. I'm going to go back to my. I think I'm going to stand true to my bagel.
I got a little palate cleanser in between. Did you go back to number 2?
No,
You're with number 4.
I'm going to win you over.
You might.
There's like a
Number
good-
4.
Oh, see, she's biting that number 4.
all right. So I think we may have a winner.
I think number 4 could be the
just-
top contender.
Just take a peek.
All right.
Hey, let's
so
take a
let's
peek at
just
the
reveal.
inside of number 4 too.
Nice.
It's looking good, right?
Color is nice.
Shine,
Yeah,
like you
let's
said,
see.
the texture on number 4 is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like these are smooth.
All right. Well, if you look at the bottom of the plate, you'll see who is actually the winner.
Bagel
Bagel
craft.
craft.
Bagel Craft. Yeah.
Neil, we love Neil. I mean, we
Local
love
favorite
everybody.
Neil. Yeah.
But Neil
Wow.
is such a nice guy. Like
Yeah.
every time you walk in there, he knows you. Like I call him up and I'll say, "Hey, it's Michelle. Can I order whatever?" He goes, "Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer." He always makes a joke with me. He's like, he knows everybody.
sure.
My daughter Hannah went in there the other day and he's like, "Oh, hi, Michelle." And she's like, "No, I'm not Michelle. I'm her daughter." He's like, "Yeah, I know, but I forgot your name, so I'm just going to call you Michelle." He like knows everybody.
Well, really?
Great. I'm really way to go, Neil. Bravo.
Yes, and
Yes, good
Neil
job.
is really one of the nicest guys in the neighborhood. And just like you, when I walk in, he doesn't even call me by my name. He calls me 12 from my old days at News 12. he still remembers my orders and, does it right away, does it with a smile.
Service with a smile. Yeah.
It's I'm so happy that you guys chose.
I
the
really
local
want to know
favorite.
which one was.
No, we're not.
Can we know which the other ones were? Or we don't
Sure.
not going to reveal that.
Sure.
You think so?
I want to know which one A&S was because A&S has this big reputation for being like the best bagels.
All right.
And I know they've won many awards on Long Island for best bagels.
So A&S was bagel number 3.
Really?
Maybe it's something we're unfamiliar with.
I don't know.
I don't
Okay.
know. Trying to
Interesting.
look at it like that.
Number 1 was Reisterers, which again
Oh,
is
which
the
is-
one that's not boiled.
Because
Okay,
it's a
'cause
bakery, so that's why
but
it's
for
very
what-
different than
for
the other
that,
ones.
It's very
Correct.
Okay.
pretty good.
Number 2 was Bagel Boss.
Bagel Boss, okay. And
Number 3 was A&S. Number 4 was our winner, Bagel Craft, and number 5 was Bagel Town.
Bagel Town.
Well,
So-
I think they were all delicious.
All really
I wouldn't
good.
turn any bagel down.
Listen, and on top of all of that, the one thing that I found really interesting was the prices because there was a huge variance.
Yeah,
Now, the
so how
one-
much were they?
So the one that you picked at Bagel Craft is $1 a bagel, which was the lowest out of all of them, and the cost went up to $1.75
Wow.
a bagel for Bagel Boss. So
Wow.
huge jump.
And
in
I know that
prices.
also, I know some of the bagel stores have specials, but I know Neil has at Bagel Craft, he has if you buy a dozen bagels, you get 6 free. So it really
Wow,
becomes
that's
an
a
even
huge.
bigger bargain.
That's a great. Okay.
All right, so I think Dan and Michelle and Lea, that's going to conclude our first West Hempstead taste-off, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Watch us on westhempsteadecho.com. And guys, send in suggestions if you have other foods that you want us to try. We're always up for tasting food, right?
Always.
Thank you for watching our first ever Bagel-off. If you'd like to sponsor this or our other programs, reach out to us at sales@westhempsteadecho.com.